Hello everyone, I am Haruhiko Inubo, a specially appointed professor in the Antioxidant Research Division at the Life Science Research Center of Gifu University. In my laboratory, we study the process of the body rusting or oxidative stress. We conduct broad research on how to suppress oxidative stress and what kinds of diseases this can help treat. I will now introduce a part of that research. Please think of the relationship between oxidative stress and fatigue as being like the chicken and the egg. For example, when you move your body, you experience muscle fatigue, but at the same time, something is also happening in your brain. Fatigue-inducing substances start to accumulate. These substances are, in fact, inflammatory agents and oxidative stress substances. Therefore, by suppressing oxidative stress, a person's sense of fatigue decreases. And when fatigue decreases, naturally, oxidative stress also goes down. You can think of it as a parallel relationship. Yes, when it comes to thyroid disorders, there are two types. Diseases where thyroid function increases, and diseases where it decreases. The most well-known disease where thyroid function increases is called Graves' disease. Typical symptoms include a rapid heartbeat and eyes that bulge out, giving a doe-eyed appearance. Also, the thyroid gland, which is located around the throat area, gradually becomes more and more swollen. In this disease, oxidative stress becomes extremely high. In particular, because there is inflammation in the thyroid gland, oxidative stress is elevated. However, it has already been clearly shown that if you suppress this oxidative stress, the symptoms improve. On the other hand, there is a disease in which it becomes difficult for the thyroid gland to secrete hormones. In other words, a condition where thyroid function declines. Hashimoto's disease is a very well-known example of this. In such cases as well, it has been clearly shown that oxidative stress in the thyroid gland is elevated. In other words, the function of the thyroid. I think it's fair to say that this is a disease where whether the function is too high or too low, there is oxidative stress involved. Asthma, for example, is widely considered an allergic disease, but there are numerous and complex various factors involved in its development and manifestation. However, that's not all. There are also several significant factors that can make asthma attacks much more likely to occur, such as during the peak pollen season, in extremely cold weather conditions, or when the patient is experiencing a considerable amount of stress. All of these factors can make attacks more likely to happen. Oxidative stress in the blood increases, and as oxidative stress rises, it is believed that airway constriction occurs. In other words, the bronchial tubes through which air passes become narrower, leading to an asthma attack. Therefore, conversely, by reducing oxidative stress, there is clear data showing that such attacks become less likely to occur. There is an expression called vascular aging, but to put it simply, the arteries become weaker. In other words, please understand that arteriosclerosis is considered the biggest cause, and arteriosclerosis, when there is oxidative stress, the oxidized LDL in cholesterol sticks to the blood vessel walls, forming blood clots and causing arteriosclerosis. So aged blood vessels are essentially oxidized. You could also rephrase it as defective blood vessels. Let me briefly explain how oxidative stress occurs in our bodies. First, let's talk about the skin. The skin is exposed to sunlight, specifically ultraviolet rays. When ultraviolet rays hit the skin, oxidative stress substances are produced, which leads to sunburn. This is oxidative stress itself. For example, acne and atopic dermatitis, which mainly affect the face, are also caused by oxidative stress. Speaking in terms of the various organs of the human body, basically you can think of it as all vital organs suffering significant and irreversible damage when they are exposed to excessive oxidative stress. For example, common conditions like cataracts and glaucoma are direct consequences. And then, there are many other potential issues that can arise from this damaging process. Diseases like retinitis pigmentosa are also examples. For instance, in the liver, oxidative stress increases with hepatitis, and it also rises with nephritis and pancreatitis. In a sense, it is said that the whole body is exposed to oxidative stress, which likely leads to the development of various diseases.